For nearly 2 centuries, the medieval world was gripped by a series of bloody conflicts that would reshape history forever. Christian knights, Muslim warriors, kings, and emperors clashed in what became one of the most significant and brutal struggles of the Middle Ages, the Crusades. But what led to these holy wars? What were their true causes, and what impact did they have on the world we know today? This is the story of the Crusades, a bloody clash of faiths. To understand the Crusades, we must go back to the late 11th century. At the time, Europe was a fragmented land of feudal lords and Christian kingdoms, while the Islamic world was a vast and powerful domain stretching from Spain to Persia. The Byzantine Empire, once the mightiest force in the Christian world, was under threat from a rising power, the Seljuk Turks. In 1071, the Seljuks dealt a devastating blow to the Byzantines at the Battle of Manzikert, capturing much of Anatolia, what is now modern-day Turkey. Facing this existential threat, Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos appealed to the West for help. He turned to Pope Urban II, leader of the Catholic Church, hoping for military assistance against the Muslim forces. In 1095, at the Council of Clermont, Pope Urban II gave a speech that would change history. He called for a holy war to reclaim Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim rule. His words ignited a wave of religious fervor across Europe. Thousands of knights, peasants, and adventurers took up the cross, inspired by the promise of spiritual salvation and the lure of wealth and land. Thus, the First Crusade was born. The First Crusade was unlike anything the medieval world had seen before. A mix of professional knights and untrained peasants marched thousands of miles from Europe to the Middle East. However, not all crusaders reached the Holy Land. Many perished along the way due to starvation, disease, or attacks by hostile forces. Despite the failures of previous crusades, European leaders continued launching new ones. However, they became increasingly misguided. The Fourth Crusade, originally intended to attack Muslim forces, instead turned against fellow Christians, leading to the disastrous sack of Constantinople in 1204. The city, the heart of the Byzantine Empire, was pillaged by crusaders, deepening the rift between the Catholic and Orthodox churches. Subsequent crusades failed to achieve their goals. By the late 13th century, the last Christian strongholds in the Holy Land fell, marking the end of the Crusader presence in the region. The era of the Crusades had come to a close, but their impact was far from over. The Crusades left a lasting impact on both Europe and the Middle East. Trade between East and West flourished, bringing new goods, ideas, and cultural exchanges. However, they also deepened religious divides and fueled centuries of conflict between Christians and Muslims. Even today, the memory of the Crusades lingers. They shaped the modern world in which, despite overwhelming hardships, the Crusaders achieved unexpected victories. They captured key cities, including Antioch in 1098, and finally, after a brutal siege, they stormed Jerusalem in 1099. What followed was a massacre. Men, women, and children were slaughtered as the Crusaders claimed the city for Christianity. This shocking brutality would fuel animosity between Christians and Muslims for generations. With Jerusalem secured, the Crusaders established several Christian-controlled states in the Holy Land, including the Kingdom of Jerusalem. But their hold on the region was fragile, and the Muslim forces would soon strike back. While the Crusaders controlled Jerusalem, Muslim leaders were not sitting idly by. One of the most influential figures to emerge was Saladin, a brilliant Muslim general and the founder of the Ayyubid dynasty. Saladin united the Muslim world and launched a campaign to reclaim the Holy Land. In 1187, at the Battle of Hattin, Saladin delivered a crushing defeat to the Crusaders, capturing Jerusalem. Unlike the first Crusaders, Saladin spared civilians and showed remarkable mercy. His chivalry earned him respect even among his enemies. The fall of Jerusalem sent shockwaves through Europe. In response, the Pope called for a new crusade, the Third Crusade. Among its leaders was the legendary English king, Richard the Lionheart. The Third Crusade was one of the most famous of all. Richard the Lionheart, Philip II of France, and the Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa led a formidable force. Despite incredible battles, including Richard's victories at Arsuf and Jaffa, the Crusaders failed to recapture Jerusalem. Instead, a truce was reached between Richard and Saladin. Christian pilgrims were granted access to Jerusalem, but the city remained under Muslim control. Though Richard and Saladin were enemies on the battlefield, they shared a mutual respect, a rare occurrence in the brutal world of the Crusades. Yes, few other events have. A clash of faiths, a battle for power, and a testament to the extremes of human ambition. The Crusades remain one of history's most fascinating and brutal chapters. What do you think about the Crusades? Were they justified? Were they a holy mission or simply a quest for power? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic history content. Until next time, keep exploring the past.